All forces combined, they're about less than 100,000 troops. So, and in a population of about 45 million, that means there is no possibility that the security forces would overwhelm Ugandans if at all they wanted to counter it. Now, the acting spokesperson for the Ministry of Defense, Colonel Chris Majesi, wrote a document, a letter responding to that, and the state, especially the security forces, are very, determined, and that any kind of aggression against the people of Uganda or the sovereignty of the country, they would definitely counter it with the lethal force that it deserves. He reminded the people of Uganda, and especially elements within the opposition, that the UPDF has been able to suppress, eliminate, and defeat all enemies of the state. They are in the Congo, they're in the Central African Republic fighting Joseph Kony, they've been in Somalia. So dealing with the opposition elements that work against the law is a piece of cake for the security forces of our country. That's our topic for discussion this morning. But before we get into that, let me give you a drop of what happened in the week. We know certainly that the Electoral Commission requested for a supplementary budget of 502 billion shillings. And this is meant to cover costs of gazetting polling stations, acquiring biometric voter verification kits, and other logistical necessities. Now, there are huge budgets, and we know certainly that with voter apathy, the number of Ugandans that turn out to vote keeps on reducing over the years, all the way from 1996 up to where we are now. And the question that lingers, why would we have a very expensive a voting exercise, yet the people that turn up to vote are actually reducing by each election cycle? So that is something that all of us Ugandans must ponder about. Are we getting value for money? Uganda joined the rest of the world to mark 1st December as the World AIDS Day with a strong message. Still, we have to go back to the ABC. Abstain, be faithful to your partner. If the worst comes to the worst, use a condom. This is a message for people like Bruce Wakunda and Edgar Mtundsa. AIDS is real. It still has a huge burden on our economy. So if you keep away from contracting it, the better. And the reports indicate that the biggest number of people that are acquiring the virus are young people, especially between the age of 23 to about 35. And we need to take caution. Now, the High Court in Kampala postponed the plea taking in the treason case against veteran opposition politician Dr. Kizza Besigye and his aide Haj Obed Lutale after the defense revealed that they filed a constitutional petition seeking to stay the criminal proceedings there. So, and knowing that there's an application before the Constitutional Court, they suggested that this should be halted. Now, President Museveni campaigned in Barara and addressed the crowds at a rally that was held in Boma grounds. And he continues to canvass for support across the country ahead of the 2026 presidential elections. He campaigned in Ankole sub-region, Greater Bushenyi, is now in the Brenzori, Bundibujo, Kasese, and all that. Now, the president also appointed Brigadier General Richard Tukachungura as the head of the General Court Martial after it was controversially reconstituted following the Supreme Court landmark ruling, which said military courts lacked judicial competency to hear cases against civilians. Now, I want to appreciate all our loyal listeners that are locked onto the radio. We're going to be talking about this and much more. Now, joining me is Edgar Mtundsa. He's a petroleum engineer and has interests in the East African affairs. I also have Ronald Akankwasa, who intends to be the youth councillor here in Barada. Bruce Wakunda is a big seater, and he belongs to the National Resistance Movement. And Moses Omujugujugu Mufachinanye, who is the Deputy Dean of RDCs. Good morning, Mufachinanye, and welcome to the big seat, Mr. RDC.
Thank you very much. A very good morning to you, Councillor Banyaji. A very good morning to my fellow panelists here and our producer, who is really mentioned. And above all, a very good morning to our beautiful listeners out there.
Yes.
I have always urged here and out there that if the listeners are not there, we wouldn't be coming every Saturday.
Absolutely.
But because we are sure that they are outside there, yearning to hear from us.
Yes.
So yearning to hear from what Cruise FM is saying.
Yes.
Then we get the urge and the energy to come here and have these conversations.
Yes.
Comrade Banyaji, I want to begin by saluting all people in Western Uganda, in particular Ankole, for the warm reception they gave to the old man with the heart. They really wrote a statement, and I am here purposely to really salute them, to thank them for writing that wonderful statement, for showing the world that President Museveni is still loved. But I want also to use the same opportunity to encourage them that come 15th of January 2026, they should come in the same numbers to vote for the old man. And I tell them you shouldn't go to the polling station alone. When you wake up in the morning, wake up like 50 of your neighbors. You all go in huge numbers. You go and write that statement and vote.
Last year, President Museveni garnered about 5.6 votes. Million votes.
Out of the 17 registered voters.
Yes, out of the 17. The NRM alone has about 18 million voters. So, by only mobilizing members of the NRM to go and vote for the president, he will be home and dry.
You see, the challenge we have is that many people out there, they say, Mzee has already won. Why should I bother to go and vote? Mzee has already won. Now we are telling them, yes, with what percentage? We want to write a statement of percentage. We are saying, let's give the old man over 80%. This attitude of saying he has already won, let me stay away, he has already won, let me stay away. We are saying no, you come in big numbers, come on. Colleagues out there, colleagues in the studio, HIV 0.
Accord signed on 4th, that's on Thursday, where we had a peace deal between the Republic of Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And we hope that indeed that peace deal delivers the peace. But of course also we are still not very happy, those of us who believe in our community, that such deals have to be signed in Washington and not in Kampala or not in Nairobi. It's a very bad step. Otherwise, I think I'm good to be here.
All right. But there is a lot there. And welcome to the Big Set.
Thank you, Wes.
And welcome to the Big Set.
Thank you, Wesige. Good morning to you, fellow panelists and listeners out there, especially the young people that are tuned in. My name is Ronald Akankwatsa. I am a civil engineer. I'm an advocate for youth inclusion. In the same regard, I am an aspiring city councillor to represent the youths of Mbarara City here in local government. I'm an independent candidate. I'm going to win, that's a must, and the youth have already decided. And they have even nicknamed me the catalyst for youth-led transformation. So my being here, Banyaji, is not just symbolic or an opportunity to articulate on issues. It's also an inspiration to many young people out there who feel that now they are actually included and they have a say in the political space of this country. So I appreciate and I am happy to be here.
Okay.
I want to take this opportunity to also congratulate the President of the Republic of Uganda for holding a very successful rally here in Mbarara City. And I want to thank the people of Mbarara City for actually coming to support the president and to show him support and to listen to his manifesto, especially the youth. They were the majority here. And Mr. Banyaji and the fellow panelists here, we should not be surprised if the president gets 90% from Mbarara City.
But would you be shocked by youth standing up when they are short of a meal and a transport refund?
Which meal?
At least they were buying people some
I
lunch.
am not aware of that meal. Even myself, I didn't get any facilitation. It was out of my consent and my goodwill.
Okay.
And also, allow me also to express my optimism about the Rwanda and Congo deal, Congo peace deal. However much there are some other issues, people say that they are even still fighting. There are rumors that the fights are still going on. But this is a big step, and I hope we should get peace as East Africa. Because if our neighbors are not safe, if they are in conflicts, That's when we actually have this refugee influx in Uganda. So we pray for peace in Congo to prevail.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Ronald Akankwasa. Good morning, Wakunda Bruce, and welcome to the Big Set.
Good morning, Council Banyaji. Good morning to my fellow panelists and also the listeners out there.
Welcome back from Kazo. I know you are deep in the mobilization of Honorable Kamkama. You could tell us about that.
And it is boiling nicely. We hosted the president and it was very massive. But Banyaji, we have 41 days to the general election.
Yes.
So people are actively engaged in campaigns and doing mobilization. Every candidate is working around the clock to see that their message reaches the people. So we are in good spirits, and this past week we hosted the president in Ankole sub-region. He ended his campaign trail on Wednesday in Rubirizi, and now he has gone to Wenzori. He was in Kasese, Bundubujo, Ntoroko, Bunyangabu. The next destination is Fort Poto and Kabarole. But Banyajai made some few observations during the president's campaigns in Ankole sub-region. One, that whether you like it or not, NRM is still the leading and dominant force, political force in Ankole sub-region.
Yes.
For now and in the foreseeable future.
Yes.
Two, that this is the most organized campaign we've had as NRM. You can see some.
Who do you hinge this to? Is it to the Secretary General and the work that he's been able to put in?
You can see some impressive level of institutional organization. The teams, all our operation units, all our organs of the party, you can see that there is coordinated effort. They are working together, and they plan very well and execute to the last detail. This can be attributed to the new energy that came in SEC. These are relatively new people and younger.
Yes. There
is a lot of energy there. 3, NRM has a very broad and diverse membership, and you can see a party that has structures and systems. I don't know how we shall keep the structures engaged, because they normally get dormant again post-election.
I think that's a given. I think that's a given.
3, we have a candidate who has a clear vision, who can articulate his vision and his principled agenda. About what Edgar started with, what happened at the Donald Trump Peace Institute in Washington, about the Washington Accord. You see, there was the body language of both principles, Kagame and Tshisekedi, spoke volumes. It was the actual communication. If you could look at their gestures, you look at their facial expressions, you look at their tones, they are going to backtrack on those commitments.
There is no doubt about that.
This is a conflict that has been going on for close to 30 years. This is not the first time they are signing these deals. I remember they signed one in 2002 in Pretoria with Kabila. But but
I guess until the denominator is still President Kagame, there's I would understand what he's dealing with a history of Rwanda, and then also, surrounded by enemy states, and you're very tiny and small country.
Also notable is Museveni's suspicious absence. But by the way, he hasn't traveled out of East Africa for quite some time now. Even at Tunga. I said out of East Africa.
Yes.
Out of East Africa. But the Financial Times wrote a very interesting perspective and gave details of this deal. There is the economic aspect of it. DRC granted some, actually a lot of access to some critical minerals
to the United States.
To the United States. So the US said, we are going to give you defense, help in energy, in automobiles and technologies. So there is a whole aspect there.
Yes, but you see, I think the real issue here is not just really Kagame. Tshisekedi really is, in my opinion, is not serious. He needs to be, as the NRM always does it, ideologically oriented.
I would be President Tshisekedi's defender. He has been perceived as that because that's what President Kagame has continuously sold.
Not really, he hasn't. Tshisekedi held elections, and those elections actually, Tshisekedi, within the East African community, he's one president on record who did not accept the observation mission of East African community to observe his elections. It's a shame.
Okay. We're stopping for a breather. When we come back right into our topic of discussion, don't touch your radio. I have 2 very important messages that I will have to air to you, so don't hesitate to listen when we're back. Good morning.
It's time. tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends.
The sun will rise on me, yeah. I'll keep my fire burning endlessly.
Tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends.
We're back. It's 9:30 on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Good music, good friends. My name is Wesige Banyaji. We are online on cruisefm.com/stream and on Cruise TV for TikTok and YouTube. Go follow, like, comment, give us feedback on our social media handles, 912 Cruise FM on X and 91.2 Cruise FM on Facebook. That's where our topic of discussion is, and I want to hear from you. What do you think about the warning by police to opposition elements on how they are conducting their campaigns? How do we find a middle ground where law enforcement agencies really respect the rights of some of these actors, but also all these different political parties and candidates adhere to the rule of law? With me in studio is Bright Muhumuza, who wants to be Member of Parliament in Mbarara City South. Is a member of the National Unity Platform. Engineer Edgar Mtundisa is a member of the East African Community Youth Affairs Engagement and all those things. People that never leave the aeroplanes and the skies, they are always rotating around different capitals. I have Engineer Ronald Akankwata, who wants to be the youth councillor from Mbarara City. I have Bruce Oakunda, who is a big seat and member of the National Resistance Movement. I have Mr. Omushugujugu Moses, who is the Assistant Dean of RDCs. He comes from Isinjiro, and he's a law student in Makerere University. It's important to also mention that. Now, I have a good message for you now. If at all you want to enjoy some vibe, now Wuzima Fest presents the R&B Old School Groove, the second edition, happening on the 7th of December, 2025 at GCAT. That's the former Katatumba Suits. It will be hosted by Viv with the Vibe Policy, powered by DJ such as DJ Mats, DJ Banks, DJ Jose, Kunana MC, and Belga MCR. Oh, now the tickets go for 60,000 for the early bird and 80,000 at the gate. Don't miss on the groove. Don't miss the energy. For reservation, call the number 0771602929 or 07082245 525. Uzima Fest, where the music lives. Now, see you, because this is happening on the 7th of December. That's just on Sunday. So we are meeting at GCAT for Makatatumba Suits for the Uzima Fest R&B Old School Groove 2nd edition. Now, tonight we are at University Inn for the Mbara Boy Experience Season 2 Kundoyonka. Now, if at all you love of Cruise FM, we are concluding our November Love. The grand finale is happening tonight. Now, to enter, you'll have to pay only 15,000 for ordinary, 30,000 for VIP. But the early bird tickets, the ordinary going for 10K and 25K for VIP. Now, if at all you want to book for tables, it's 788522 200 or 0705305959. Now, all that is powered by Western Uganda's biggest radio, 91.2 Cruise FM. Good music, good friends. Now we're going right into our topic of discussion. The police, through the IGP, sent a warning to elements within the opposition camps against one, disobeying traffic rules, campaigning past 6 p.m., holding processions across different locations, but also campaigning on ungazetted venues. We've seen complaints by the police insisting that the NUP candidate, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, insists on making pit stops in places that have not been gazetted by the Electoral Commission to campaign. It is causing a problem. We saw scenes in Kawempe where supporters of the NUP were literally scattered in a stampede there in Kawempe. But in all other places, there is one person that has lost their life in this campaign. And the security forces have been clear and categorical. We shall not hesitate to use the full wrath of the law to deal with any kind of disobedience to the law. And I want to start with Bright Muhumuza. Bright, I guess as a party who advocate for constitutionalism and the rule of law, what is the problem? Why is it very difficult for you as the NUP to follow the guidance that has been provided by the Electoral Commission and the security forces? Where is the problem?
Yes, good morning, listeners. Good morning, Mr. Wanyaji. I welcome you all, especially the big sitters. My name is Bright Muhumuza. I am a fully nominated candidate intending to represent the people of Mbara State House in the Parliament of Uganda. My party is a national unity platform, and my presidential candidate is Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, aka Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine. Now, you're saying that we are being chosen because we normally campaign at a place that is not gazetted by Electoral Commission. That's one. Two, that they choose us because of campaigning past time, and we also do processions and break some traffic rules and regulations. I want to respond and state clearly that I was in charge of campaign programs of my presidential candidate in Ankole, and by the way, in most of the parts of Chijezi sub-regions. And what we did last time, I wrote a letter to the LPC and territorial commanders, informing them of our, first of all, preferred places of the campaign venues. That's one. Two, I was informing them about the route chart. Yes, you want campaign, you want to stage your rally at Nyamichobra Playground. I'm just giving an example. But for you to reach at Nyamichobra Playground, which routes, which road are you going to use? So I wrote and informed the territorial commanders about the same. And what was unfortunate was that all that we proposed to the security teams was rejected. The security sat and said, you must go and campaign from Mbara High School Playground. Against our will. We had no option apart from telling our people to join us at Mbara High School Playground in Chiyanja. Now I want you to imagine somebody has slept at a hotel called Grand Holiday Hotel in the city center. the police is insisting that the presidential candidate must have his rally at a place called Mbarara School. Now this is for people who are not in Mbarara. There is a distance. There is a distance from where my presidential candidate slept to where the police told us to hold the rally. There is a distance of like between 5 to 7 kilometers. I think so. Now, how do you move there? How do you move from a hotel to where you want to have a rally from? People will come around you. Will you get a microphone and send them away and tell them, you people, don't follow me? Did you hear any announcement anywhere? My presidential candidate or his agents inviting people to a hotel where he had slept? For the population knew that their presidential candidate slept at a hotel called ABCD. By the time the presidential candidate got up for breakfast, the hotel was full of people. So now, what do you do with that situation? Now that means we have to stick to a route chart that we had agreed on by the with the security team. What was very unfortunate, for example, like in Mbarara, we had said because we were to do 2 rallies in Mbarara district and 1 rally in Mbarara city, we said we were not going to move around town. We use a route chart which was clearly stated in my letter and agreed upon by security and with all other stakeholders.
What about the complaint by
The
security?
complaint
Yes.
is that when we were moving, some of the people panicked. Some people in security panicked and maybe made some operational errors. And people overreacted and directed Mr. Chagulanyi, my presidential candidate, to follow another route that we had not agreed on with the Electoral Commission.
Thank you.
With the security people. What I want to state is that most of the times is the police and the other security organization, the army, are the ones who come and interfere with our processions. Because you see, you cannot avoid the procession. People come and gather around you. What did you do with them? They should also give us advice. That's 1. 2, we have never been allowed to campaign from a venue of our preference. They are the ones who tell us where to go. Sometimes they send you, for example, like in Ilukunjiri, they send us like 11 kilometers away from the town. So we had to move with the people from the town to the venue. Now, if they had allowed us to campaign, for example, from Rukunjiri playground, which place was our
your
place of
preference.
interest, yes, we should have gone to Tsingi, to the playground, campaign, and go away. But now when we go there, they say no, you must go 15 kilometers from the town. People will follow you from the town to that same venue.
Okay.
So, in other words, the police and the Electoral Commission are the ones are the cause of what is happening.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, Brian.
On the issue of traffic rules, and you see that one, I have explained it because you see the procession. In their view, the police says we break the traffic rules because of the processions. I have said we have nothing to do with people who come around us and they want to work with us.
Okay, thank
you.
you.
Chase them
Thank
away.
you. You
The
stated-
issue,
you-
I have stated it clearly. The issue is that we are being followed by the security. The people in the security are
thank
campaigning
you.
for
Mufachi
one
Nani.
presidential candidate, and that is General Yoweri Museveni, not any other person.
Thank you, Bright. Moses, when we had started these campaigns, we saw the peace and the tranquility with which the presidential candidates enjoyed. What is the change of strategy by security forces? Why not allow all presidential candidates canvass for support across the country in pursuit of the law? Because why do you deny certain candidates an opportunity to reach the people? Are you crowdphobic as security agencies, that you fear numbers so much that when you see opposition figures having numbers around them, it scares you that you need to disperse those crowds before you know it.
Number one is that thank you very much for having me once again. My name is Moses Omjugujugu, the political tsunami, and I am the first deputy dean of RDCs and RCCs in Uganda.
Yes.
To begin with, I want to say what Bright has stated is just total lies. And he knows it inside himself. He knows when he reaches in his room, he knows whatever, however I've said this, but the reality is this.
Counter it with the truth.
The truth is, one, Bobby Wine or Noop is not the only presidential candidate. There are 8 presidential candidates in the race.
Yes.
Why is it that others, they have not been involved in confrontation with the police? Because for them, they are saying they want to get what we call sympathy votes. They want to confront the police so that they can be tear gas. They say, you see, they have tear gas us. So you vote us because they don't like us. Who doesn't like you? They like you because they even nominated you. Colleagues in the studio and listeners out there, you must remember, when we begin the show, you said, out of the 17 voters that were registered the other time, only around 8 came out to vote. Therefore, in an election, we must also consider the other population that is not involved in elections and electioneering. What Bob Wine did in Mbarara put the whole town on standstill. How do you campaign in the middle of the town? People's businesses were closed. There are reports of Nupu soldiers picking some things from people's businesses.
How come?
And you first listen, council.
Let me give you a pointer here. Before we started the campaigns, there was a video of members of citizens of Uganda wearing yellow in Kampala at Parliamentary Avenue that were seen pickpocketing and assaulting people, and there were members of wearing yellow. Is that kind of behavior only a monopoly of individuals that wear red? Yet we've seen some
even tell you,
with yellow.
That was a campaign strategy by Noop. Those were Kamocha boys who were putting on yellow. They are not in and were arrested. This is the honest truth. But I want to give clear 5 reasons why the police gave out this warning to the candidates. That number one, we want to prevent what we call violence and confrontations. We are saying, please pass here. Pass here. If you don't pass, you are going to cause violence. There are going to be confrontations. For example, if remember there are parliamentary elections also campaigns ongoing. What if an NRM candidate is campaigning from here and you president want to also campaign from the same place? So the guidelines
are very clear. When a presidential candidate is in a certain district, campaigns of other lower candidates are put on hold. So you are not supposed to campaign. I am, for example, not allowed to campaign when your presidential candidate is in Mbarara. I cannot.
We are saying if you follow rules and regulations and electoral guidelines, there will not be violence and confrontations. And police is saying you are faulting that. You are not following the guidelines like other candidates are doing. The other point is we want to maintain public order, like I have told you.
Yes.
There are these people who are not a part of the elections, and they also want to do their business. So if you want to come and cause chaos and havoc, police will come in to maintain peace and order, to make sure every stakeholder, every citizen enjoys the country. You are not the only person in Uganda who must
thank you, Moses. I'm going to come back to you. You are going to break down some of those points, but I want to engage Edgar here on part of what you've said. How do you balance, being able to preserve the rights of others that are not involved in such political activities and the rights of those participating in very emotive political activities? You have the state that is supposed to maintain law and order and protect people's property, but at the other tail end, you have politicians and their supporters that are excited and all the energy is up and they want to express and show numbers and all that. How do both different actors have to manage these different interests?
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Banyaji. I think on this question, we are trying to be just hypocrites. We both know that we have seen such situations where, for instance, when there's a construction of a road, sometimes we'll be informed that this road from this point to the other point will be stopped, and then you find alternative routes. The same thing happens when these elections are going to happen and these campaigns. No any serious citizen won't know that tomorrow is a rally of either Chagulani or NRM or Museveni, and therefore that there could be some processions or there could be all these sort of things. Then you plan accordingly.
Yes.
So it's just a real lame excuse. But secondly, if you also look at now how the artist was saying that there are some guidelines that other candidates follow, but Noob does not follow. Again, that is hypocrisy, because we know for sure, and there were things showing that the same claims of NRM against Noob versus where actually here in Barara, where a police truck was being used to carry supporters of NRM and rope them to join the processions of NRM. So the same institution claiming that Nope is doing processions, NRM is doing the same. There's a footage of that here in Barara. There's even a procession of NRM people. But to add more so to that, even police was actively involved, shipping voters of NRM with their truck and dropping them to join the procession. So where is the principle? Where is the logic? And really, that is, I think it would be very sad for even just for the argument's sake. So now they claim, again, a very important RDC, like how RDC said, that those Kamocha boys who were wearing NRM, the same strategy can be used by Museveni. How do we know that those already people wearing, who are throwing stones, were not implanted there by security forces?
Yes,
when they are arrested, they go there and claim them. But for me, I don't know if I'd
that does
no,
not
it doesn't answer that.
Doesn't that answer?
It doesn't answer that.
Because when stones are thrown and these individuals are arrested,
yes,
and Joel Senyonyi and Rubongoya are busy in different jails trying to rescue them and obtain jail.
No, first
then
of all,
how do you say these are planted elements?
Balaji, for sure. Wait, Joel Senyonyi does not have a register of Noob supporters. So if anyone there's a claim that this supporter was wearing red, it's in Joel Senyonyi's interest to fight for the rights of those. Okay. It doesn't matter whether they were NRM or not, because they deserve to be on the procession or maybe to have a fair trial. That doesn't answer the question.
Thank you, Edgar.
So for me, I wanted to build from what the Deputy Dean of RDCs and RCCs has said here. You see, Banyaji, psychology teaches us that what you do repeatedly, what you do every day, becomes your behavior. And eventually it becomes your identity. If you abuse people every day, it means it is your behavior. Yes. And we start identifying you with what? With abusing people. So for me, it is just a question of indiscipline, which you cannot separate from Noob. But here is my take, Banyaji. One, police is and you see, before these processes and activities begin, there is always stakeholder engagements. All the people that are involved in enforcement, that are involved in regulation of these exercises, and the candidates have a series of meetings, whether it is the candidates themselves, whether it is the security forces, whether it is EC. So it is just a matter of adhering to these strictly to the guidelines that are provided.
But how come
I'm explaining.
There's a difference between how police and other security agencies manage the NRM where they do things like processions and compared to what other political parties have to deal with?
So it is just a matter of adhering to security guidelines and also guidelines by the EC. I am shocked that Edgar can say that if Bobi Wine is coming to Mbarara, everybody must know. There are people who are completely detached and not interested in politics.
But these are issues of governance of one's country and their citizens.
Can I make my point?
And how do you even draw a distinction, Bruce?
That what?
How do you know then?
Processions. I don't know if processions. I don't know if you saw when Bobi Wine was going to Masaka. I think the procession must have started from Sanji or somewhere. So I'm saying
advise us on what to do.
Yes,
people have come. Yes, they have gathered around you. Yes. Even if it was you, what would you do with those people?
I can't do prescriptions before we diagnose the
problem. Okay, Bruce, diagnose the problem. I want Ronald here.
So I'm saying, for me, I'm commuting. I'm going home. I'm not interested in your rally. So these guidelines are put there for the interest of public order and public safety. One, police is saying there are. I've seen processions of NUP blocking emergency service vehicles, blocking ambulances. Yes, blocking fire brigade vehicles. People are going to do diplomatic work. Investors are going to do work. We have tourists. Two. You listen.
The same happens.
They are saying, do not drive without licenses. Do not overcrowd these people in your cars. Do not drive without helmets.
Okay, let me bring in.
That is in the interest of public.
I'm going to come back to you.
They even have cars that do not have number plates.
Let's have order. Let's have order.
discipline we talk about on NUP.
Let's have order. I'm coming back to you. Bros. Right. Let's have order. Ronald, let me have Ronald. Ronald, how do you think these different actors should deal with this situation?
Sige, my name is Ronald Akankwatsa, and I'm a candidate aspiring to be the city councillor representing the youth of Mbarara City. First of all, I want to begin by quoting I'm independent candidate. First of all, I want to begin by quoting Article 1 of the Constitution, which says that all power belongs to the people who shall express their sovereignty in accordance with the Constitution.
Yes.
And the same chapter, Article 4, clearly states that the people have the will and consent to choose leaders who shall govern them and elect representatives and how they shall be governed. So this is where the Electoral Commission actually derives the mandate. The only role of the Electoral Commission is to reinforce the sovereignty of the people. So anything that the Electoral Commission should be doing, it's just about how the sovereignty of the people and how they are going to be governed should be actually handled. But the electoral process is a multi-stakeholder approach, and it requires a multi-stakeholder collaboration, including the candidates, the EC, which sets guidelines and also implements and actually organizes the election, and the candidates and even the voters. Now, first of all, the issue of the Electoral Commission, however much the opposition thinks that the Electoral Commission has not been neutral, I want also to tell you that the opposition has also played a big role in actually fueling the conflicts, because Bright thinks that I'm going to defend him.
No.
And first of all, yes, I'm going to tell the facts. Yes, I'm going to tell the facts. You see, I will give an example here in Mbarara City. Yes. When we are nominated, all the candidates that we are nominated here in Mbarara City, we were called for a meeting with security. And Bright and his team said we cannot be part of this meeting. He intentionally declined the meeting. It's only Peter Mpaka and Kajumba who actually attended, and I am not surprised what has since followed since then. But but Bright said we shall no wait.
You see,
Bright said
my name. Let me
first finish.
Are you very, very sure that I was invited for that meeting?
Yes, we were sent messages. You are in the WhatsApp group. You even responded to messages.
The exception.
You were aware.
Some electoral commission officers are working for the regime. That's why they invite people like him, and they don't invite me. For
no. For the
I can be on record.
Let's stop for
I know she's listening. I was not invited for the
show. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Weekly Sports Roundup.
The weekly Sports Roundup. Sports Roundup.
Curry's three gives the Warriors the lead.
2-0 to PSG, and a first in the blue of PSG for Lionel Messi.
The weekly Sports Roundup. Sports Roundup.
The weekly Sports Roundup show on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Every Saturday with Abu Champion, we cover everything sports. Previews, reviews, tennis, football, boxing, athletics, you name it, we've got you covered.
Weekly Sports Roundup.
The weekly Sports Roundup. Sports Roundup.
On 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Western Uganda, are you ready? 91.2 91.2 Cruise FM and Backyard Events presents MC Kajecha Live at the Mbarara Boy Experience Season 2, happening on the 6th of December 2025 from 5 p.m. at Mbarara University Inn.
Join us for the grand finale of November Love, featuring your biggest stars: Misaj Semakula, Reggie, Spice Diana, T-Paul, Truth 256, Levixon, Matt Henry, Madrash and Chico, John Black, Haley Baby, Fefe Busi, Ambroy, Sister Charity, plus the entire Cruise FM crew and DJs, and many more.
Tickets go for 15K for ordinary and 30K for VIP. For the early birds, tickets go for 10K for ordinary and 25K for VIP. For tables and reservations, call 0788 522 200 or 0705 305 959. Powered by
Western Uganda's biggest radio.
Western Uganda's biggest radio.
Yeah. 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
We are 14 years strong and still number one. Muévate, Mononga.
Jazz Junction. Jazz Junction on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music. Great friends.
It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
All right, we are back. It's 2 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, good friends. Good morning once again. My name is Wesige Banyaji. Now I'm here to let you know that tonight we're closing down November Love. It's all happening at University Inn as we get to celebrate the Mbara Boy experience. Now, Kacheche is a part of us here, so we're throwing him all the love that he deserves, all the numbers. If I told you love of Cruise FM and you've been a part of our journey for 14 years, the love is happening tonight at University Inn. It's only going for 15,000 and 30,000 VIP, ordinary 15,000. If I told you can be able to get an early bird, 10,000 and 25,000. The tables are still available, so you can be able to book yourself a table and let's enjoy the night. Be able to expect artists like Mesat Samakula, Levikson, Fefe Busi, Ambroy, Reggie, Truth 256, and all that is happening courtesy of Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Good music. Good friends, see you tonight at the University Inn. And with me in studio is Mufachinanye Moses Omujugujugu. He's Assistant Dean RDCs. Bruce Owakunda is a big seater, a member of the National Resistance Movement. Bright Muhumuza wants to be Member of Parliament, Mbara City South. Ronald Akankwasa is a civil engineer. He wants to be the Youth Councillor, Mbara City. And Edgar Mtunsa, who is a petroleum engineer. We're talking about the dynamics within the elections and how it's all playing out. I cut you off before we went. You were breaking. I know the RDC was giving us a few points there. Let me allow him break down the third and the fourth, and I get back to Bright and Bruce. Yes, you are saying in order to protect public order and all these engagements that are required, police must move to enforce the law in a particular way that would eventually culminate in some of the scenes that we've been able to witness. But don't you think that police can do a better job? Because I just saw the acting director, I think, legal, the lady who was saying, I think there were some operational errors on part of police. Who should take responsibility when some of those things happen? We saw, for example, in Kawempe, where supporters of the NUP were literally pushed to a ditch and were heard of people breaking their legs and all that happened. Why should it be the case?
It is always the case because you have invited it to be so. If you had followed the rules, the guidelines, it cannot be the case. Because the other point I had wanted to make is that why the police gave out to these orders is to ensuring neutrality of law enforcement. There are 8 candidates. Everybody is campaigning very well, but there is that one particular candidate called Bobby Wine who thinks for him he should campaign beyond 6 p.m. Do you know why? They know at night they can easily break the law and nobody will be able to identify who has done what at night. They will be able to pickpocket. They will be able to run into people's shops so that nobody can identify them. And police is saying, why don't you want to walk in the light? As the Bible says in John 8:12, that happy are those who walk in the light. But for them, they want to campaign beyond the designated time because of their selfish interests. And we are saying this cannot continue to happen. The other issue was that I wanted to make a point about is that people should be aware that the Electoral Commission under Article 61 is mandated to organize regular elections, but Electoral Commission cannot enforce the guidelines. What it does, it says it gives the police, these are the guidelines. Make sure people follow the guidelines. These are the nominated candidates. So if we do not follow them, then the police will come for you under the guidance of Electoral Commission. But I'm pretty sure these elections, people do not have some of the candidates do not have what to tell the people. They think by running around the police, they will say, we have told you this, but because police ran against us, we were not able to tell you this. Kumbe, they had actually nothing to tell the public.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Mr. Reggie. But also I think surely Modest has really tried to play us for fools. Because Modest wants the listeners to believe that Bob Wine leaves Magere in the morning or whatever, and he delays himself intentionally so that he can campaign at 6 p.m. so that he can do pickpocketing, so that he can do... Really, this is really some bad talk. This is not true. we both know the reason as why these campaigns end up going to 6 p.m. of Noop is because you do all these stoppages, you do all these blockades, you make him choose about 3 routes in the same period. So by instead of starting a campaign at 4 p.m., he ends up starting at 6 p.m. and now you want him to close before 6 p.m. It doesn't make sense. Secondly, Mr. Bruce made a very important statement that when you have seen you, operating like this and every day becomes a habit, then we can know your behavior, that this is how you do. And now we can tell that from the NRM government and the security forces. We saw where now it's already, there's a case where a security officer can fabricate terror attacks, you can imagine, just so that they can spend some money on the budget. What makes you think they cannot implant some 100 people and make them wear red so that they can stone and then they can also disperse some tear gas and consequently and further disperse some population of Noop? So it's been clear. So they are the monopoly of violence. They have been the architects of it. They've done it. So we cannot be surprised by the same sides of Bruce actually. So I think that puts NRM in the pits.
Let me have Bright. We've had stories to say that you see these skirmishes work for the NUP and opposition figures because now they get sympathy vote and they want to get that front page on a newspaper and all this. Do you want the police? Do you confront the police? Do you beat the police? Do you have all these things that you do against the police simply because you want to attract sympathy and have coverage and talkability about your party and your presidential candidate?
First of all, that is very, 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 it's a naked lie. It's not true. It is false.
You have not been throwing stones at police.
It is a story that is based on hearsay. I am telling you that my presidential candidate has got a manifesto, and that manifesto is a people-centered manifesto. It has issues we are raising. Those issues range from education, health, infrastructure, employment opportunities for our people, the young generation. We are talking about industrialization. In the same manifesto, we are talking about on the issue of rule of law and many other issues. So you cannot say that we want people to vote us because of sympathy, because of being beaten, because of being blocked by police. Now, if they know that when they arrest us, when they block us, we are going to get sympathy, why do they continue doing it? So, and now that they don't want us to be voted, why do they leave us? They don't arrest us, they don't block us, we don't get sympathy, they don't beat us, we don't get sympathy, and we don't get people. What's wrong with it? That should have been a solution. Now, I am telling you that is not true. Our campaign is based on issues. Our campaign is based on reality, on the economic situation of Uganda, and therefore it has nothing to do with sympathy. That's what. Two, we have seen many times, there is a lot of evidence that the police of Uganda is directly campaigning for General Yoweri Museveni. Why? I saw and I have a video where a police officer, not one, was captured removing or plucking off posters of a campaign of a presidential candidate, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Bobi Wine, and the video is available. He has not been taken to court. It is there. I can tell you that before President Museveni, candidate President Museveni, planned to come to Mbarara, this town of ours was full of our campaign posters. But as I speak now, when you go to the town, you don't find anything like red. Who removes them? The town clerk sends people that you don't have to remove our campaign pictures or posters, and they say we didn't have any permission from him to put posters. My campaign public address system was confiscated by the DPs.
Bright, have you just heard what Bruce said?
That you don't have posters.
One of the reasons Mpaka cited when he was
speak to the microphone.
One of the reasons Mpaka defected, according to him, and this is in video evidence.
Mm.
We all saw the video.
Yes.
He said you promised him logistical support.
Mm.
Did not.
He did not have any branded material. You did not even give him posters.
Even
you
a
did not
flyer.
give him flyer, not T-shirts. So I don't know which
Evidence.
So
You
which
see, my
posters
friend,
were
so
being
which
plucked?
posters were
No,
being defaced.
no,
Yes.
I am saying, did Impaka provide evidence of that promise?
But
First of all, him as Impaka, he has a master's degree in medical science, something of that sort.
Yes.
He decided to contest. We did not convince him to contest as a member of parliament. He himself sat home with his family. They took a decision to contest. Even the wife was convinced that protesting was an opportunity for the family.
Was in public interest.
I am very 100% very sure that the party paid for his nomination fees. The party paid for the nomination of his wife in Uganda. The wife of Mpaka is our flag bearer for woman MP
But
in
never
Uganda.
gave him posters.
The 6 million, I am 100% that we are in possession of a receipt that it is the party that paid that money. For him, he wanted to go and contest without contributing anything, using the word of mouth only. So for him, you see, the issue is, I have not stated it here clearly that the police, the city council were removing Mpaka's posters. No, I have not said it. I have only said that they were removing our campaign posters. For example, I have evidence that my campaign posters were removed by the city clerk, and even if we go now, we find them there. We find them at the council yard.
Okay.
There. So
thank you, Bright.
Police confiscated the DPs of Mbara, confiscated by public address system. It has been there for almost now 2 weeks. I am not campaigning. Whenever I go there, they say I was my address, my campaign, my public address system was playing a song of Chagulanyi.
Thank you, Bright.
Freedom.
Thank you, Bright.
Why are you playing freedom? Why are you playing freedom? Now they want me to play what?
Let me engage Bright, Bruce here. Bruce, we've seen constantly members of the security forces campaigning for President Museveni. We've seen it. There was the commander of the mechanized brigade in Masaka. I have forgotten that Sunday. Brigadier General, I think now, campaigned for President Museveni in broad daylight. There's OC, I think a DPC in Choteda on record campaigning for President Museveni and members of the NRM openly. There's Lieutenant General or a commander in the Air Force campaigning for President Museveni in the open. And you want Ugandans to believe the state, to be unbiased, to be neutral, and to respect rule of law. With some of members. No, I want the two of you. Yes.
As is coming in, why don't you talk of the police officers and prison officers who campaign for NUP?
Where is the record?
You have not seen the one who was invited by Uganda prisons for having campaigned for NUP. You have not seen that. Why don't talk about it? So the whole point I want to make here.
Please.
Well, first of all,
are you disappointed in the submission of your boss?
No, he has done well. I'm also not aware.
Yes.
I've not seen those videos you're talking about.
No, the videos are there.
And I'm not aware, I've not seen them.
Okay.
But if it has happened,
yes,
which I highly doubt, then they are doing it outside.
Chakwanzi has done a very good job on you. But Bruce Wakonda, there's a record of different videos that have been viral of persons belonging to security agencies campaigning for the NRM and President Museveni in particular.
And I've said they are doing it outside the law.
Okay.
But you see, far away from Bright's propaganda, no wonder he has turned out to be the most prominent NUP person in Western Uganda. He has a school of propaganda where he teaches propaganda. But that is...
Yes.
Single course unity.
Yes, bro. Yes.
And really, I'm not in charge. I'm not the owner of that school.
You
see,
see,
belongs
if you listen to the IGP's address,
yes,
he clearly said some of the criminal elements put on T-shirts, NUP T-shirts, and disguise as what? As NUP people when they are in fact criminals. He said that. Maybe it can also happen on the NRM side. But I've said every time these people are arrested, NUP goes and claims them as their supporters. But Westgate, we should accept that as much as the constitution guarantees that there should be peaceful assembly, it is qualified that the assembly should be what? Should be peaceful.
Bruce and Moses, we are in an election campaign period. All Ugandans are aware. What is so hard for the state to endure the pain of all of this within these 3 months?
No, it is
on
not,
the 15th.
It is not the
it will
state
be back to
endure
normalcy.
the pain. It is the people of Uganda.
Yes.
Which state are you talking about? It is us that supposed to. But we are complaining. I don't know if I'm a Congolese.
Yes.
Me, I'm complaining. I'm aggrieved. That is why I don't agree with you.
Please.
Where is your complaint? You see, your complaint must have a locus.
Let me write
Yes. What have we? How have we aggrieved you?
But also, Bruce should tell us
Yes.
about the peaceful assembly. All these assemblies have actually been peaceful. They only become unpeaceful when the police intervenes.
Isn't that a matter of
What
truth?
do you mean?
That's a
peaceful?
fact.
What do you mean peaceful?
No.
When the rallies,
What
for
for me, yes.
example,
One rally. Bruce.
the rally in Masaka was peaceful. It went without any scene, and want their
But
crowd.
you see, we are talking about public order. I'm coming from Kampala. Yes, I'm coming. I'm going to attend. I'm going to attend.
Why didn't you disrupt them? Why didn't you disrupt the crowds in Masaka?
No, that depends on the person who is handling the operation. How they assess the assessment on ground. It is not every day that there is a procession. You must go around shooting people and killing them.
On this show.
So for me,
no, Bruce, give us one assembly on this show. Political assembly that was not peaceful when the police are not intervened.
No,
purely because there was no.
Even by the
Give us only one. You can't mention any manager on record. You cannot. All the times these positions have not been peaceful, it has been because of police. It has been because of security. So they have been the cause. You can't claim to be. You can't be the cause of all these things and come yourself as a solution and all this. Come on.
Do you want
the listeners are past this?
But I want to engage Bright and Edgar before I bring in Ronald. Slightly, I want Edgar's answer. There've been instances where the NUP presidential candidate has clearly been inciting violence against the people.
Where?
There's a video where he claims that the forces, the UPDF and the prisons and the police force,
the number is small.
Combined,
that is
the number is so small.
Let me come to that.
And in fact, it should.
No.
Yes, as if to say, as if to mean Ugandans should overwhelm because they are so small. Which
I'll give you two responses. Two responses.
Yes.
Number one, that is a fact. Number two, if you look at the whole footage of that video, in the same footage, Bob Wine was telling people not to throw stones. Do you remember that?
No.
He was saying yes. In the same footage, Bob Wine saying Banange atemekuwa mayinja because they want to depend on that to arrest us. Banaji. What Bob Wine's message was, and let's not take it out of context. It is the same message of people power. Power belongs to you. To show to you that let these people not scare you with the small guns they have. They are fewer in number. Wait. Mr. Onaji. And this is a fact. You know why it's a fact? Because everywhere where we have seen Nepal, wherever, everywhere where we've seen people power take over, it was because the people realized that they are stronger than the military, and their strength is in numbers.
Let's come back.
So
it's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Fellow Ugandans, the election season is upon us.
It's getting heated in here. We're talking about some of the statements that some of these presidential candidates have made at their presidential trail that come off as if treasonous in a way. Because if I tell you're going to incite and instigate citizens to overrun security installations, then there's going to be a problem. Ronald, we've seen police officers spraying tear gas at people just attending a rally and just listening to a presidential candidate. We've seen them being clobbered while at the venue. If it is about law enforcement, when does the police draw the line? Because we've seen situations where individual police officers are simply working outside the law. Exactly.
And actually, that is what I wanted to say. Because Bruce and actually Umzugujugu, the only point they are failing to substantiate is about the action of police officers or the people who implement the law and even the state.
Yes.
What I'm saying here is that some of the people who have authority, who have power, some of them want to overreact. They want to show and please the appointing authority. It's not specifically that the state has instructed them to do, but the people who have the power, the DPCs, the RDCs, some of them want to overreact and want to show how they are able to suppress the opposition.
In your assessment, it's simply overzealousness of some actors.
Yes, an example here is here in Bara City. The NUP came here, the RCC said they will not touch anyone. They made a procession in town, but as they were heading to Wizibwera, the RDC there, who had actually said before that I will not allow any NUP person in my district, had to confront them and stop them. So the difference here now is the individuals or the police officers who were acting on behalf of the state, but doing their own things, personal things, wanting to please the appointing authority. That is one. Secondly, and I want to actually emphasize on this, the population. You know, campaigns are very emotional. The people are actually excited and everything. So I think somehow it is also the duty of the candidates to actually maintain that civil obedience and actually guide their electorate in the campaigns so that they should actually be lawful. You cannot make a statement, for example, that Bobi Wine made, that you can actually overpower them in Uganda. I don't remember the exact statement. You cannot make such a statement with the population, most of them who are young, most of them who are over-excited about the electoral process. And what do you expect? What do you expect those people to do in the future? Remember, this is just the beginning. Remember, in the next in the polls on 15th January, over 3.5 million young people are joining the electoral college. They are new voters. These are the people. First of all,
my friend, it's just very simple. You look at the background. You look at the background. What causes it? You see, Chagulanyi, my presidential candidate, does not start by stating what you are trying to insinuate. That one comes most of the times. He talks about it. It comes when he has been attacked, when his people have been corrupted by security people. Yes. And in this case, it is police, not the army. The other time we used to see the army fully participating in beatings, but at least for the most of the videos I've seen, it is the police which broke the road. It's the police which beat. But after being attacked, you see, the presidential cannot keep quiet, cannot say thank you police. He must respond. So when you look at the background and what
as a leader,
so you want him when the police beat his supporters, you want him to say thank you police.
So you want him to fuel actually fire in his crowd
that fight we back. Can, by the way, overwhelm you. We can attack you also.
You are saying
that it is within the laws to defend yourself when you are attacked.
Okay.
It is within the laws to defend yourself when you are attacked.
Yes, Bryce. Yes.
Akamanyirako mun karenga akamanyiru karenjiri abashaba NRM, they will tell you follow the law themselves that they do not follow. Also, when you follow it, they can't change it whenever they want. They will do whatever they want. Now, even for some statements which are number one factual, like I mentioned, that's very key. And also analyze this not just from what Bobi Wine was saying to the communities, but also what was communicating to the police, so that you should also not overstep, be disciplined. Bonyigiriza wana abantu baba singo munji. Hey, so you can also analyze this from an angle of that this statement. Listen, this statement was also trying to help the police and the security forces. Because normally, Mr. Manager, this is what I think happens when police and security forces forget that they are actually lesser than the population. Bob Wine's awakening is very important because it is what has led to different regimes falling all over the world. Because the people, when the people go on the streets of Kampala,
the state,
they overpower it.
No, the state cognizant of that fact, of the intentions of some of these actors in the opposition that want to borrow precedents from elsewhere and create it here. Would any serious state worth its name sit back and watch political elements go ahead and instigate and incite violence and threaten to overrun the state?
Let me go that. Who is instigating that violence? It is the police. No. Bob Wine simply made a statement. Wait, Bob Wine's statement is after being attacked. So you want to become violent. You see this problem with these people here. Binaka Manyiro. Benara Ftere. Bakeba tapping how you should cry. Wara Munonga, Pana Wayamba Munonga. That's also criminal. That is nonsense.
Okay. Yeah, let's listen to them.
You see, these people are actually shouting, not making points here.
Please make the point.
The point is, you have thrown stones to police. Do you want police to clap hands for you?
Is it possible that
that
supporters of opposition parties out of the blue,
because Council Banyaji, Bob Wine has himself said on camera, do not throw stones at police, meaning it's a confession that they have been doing so, but he's telling them now you stop. But they have been doing so. So police usually reacts to the action
you see,
of the
again, Mr. Moles, wait. To kumanyira the listeners as if to be magazine. When Bob Wine was saying don't throw stones, he was actually communicating to the fact that this is what these people always do. So that even you, if you're standing next to someone and you see them throwing a stone because they've been because those guys have been put there by NRM, you can stop them. Then all you will know the wrong elements. So we won't let you. But the point here, Uganda bachichengi akaka manyira na Uganda bakabiyo bari ko bahuzia omuntu akutera akakumiga akena even determining how you should cry, how you should speak. This is nonsense. So the police have had their cake. They have misused their power. But what Bob Wine was actually saying, from my analysis, is very great information for the police and for the state. Okay. It's what will save you, and you should really consider it seriously. Because all the states that have come to collapse, they have neglected that fact. It's a fact and it's real.
Okay.
You see, Edgar.
Let's allow Bruce.
Edgar, woketaka manyiro, woketachi. First of all, rekakushakara. It is not that when you're very loud, you make the point.
I know.
So I don't know which authority.
He has just been assertive.
That is point. You see, I don't know. I don't know which.
Sit down.
I don't know where Edgar derives the authority to lecture police on how it should do enforcement. And enforce public law. No.
The constitution.
No.
I don't have to
no. Let me tell you.
If the law is clear that police has to conduct
that you should not in a particular manner, that you should not tear gas people.
He thinks.
Let me ask.
He thinks you should not go to Chankwanz. He thinks I should not go to Chankwanz for the authority.
Let me ask. If the rally has a procession has to 20,000 people. And you're the police, you have a constitutional mandate to protect law and order. Yes. You have to manage those crowds. How are you going to manage them? If you don't, if you yes, they are within their right.
Does that mean that you'll have to bring the canine?
No.
To attack them?
However, no. Police should not exercise reasonless discretion of their authority. But also, the people should. I've showed you a video here. Of loop people throwing stones at police. They are also human. These are humans. They will make operational errors.
Bruce, I also want to show him a video.
I don't want editing.
Where you were in a sanga trying to beat us.
I don't want.
Could you answer that?
Yes.
There are videos in Chiruhura and Kazo where you come from. No, let me make the point for you.
So, you can't make a point. They are helping you.
Yes. No. I am saying in Kazo and Chiruhura, we saw people in that area stopping NUP from campaigning in these places. Yet they were gazetted by the Electoral Commission to do the same.
But I told you here. NRM, what happened in Chiruhura? I wasn't there at least, and the videos I saw and the information I could gather.
Yes.
People are saying the local people are having sticks. I told you, for us it is just a matter of culture. Even on a normal day. No. Even on a normal day.
If Bruce has failed on what, or that's what to say, you should keep quiet. No, not really. No, you can't claim. The videos are clear. People are not just holding sticks. People are fighting, trying to chase them away to stop them. So you can't claim that is culture.
But they were saying
no, be serious.
NUP cannot campaign in their location.
That is culture. The people who are holding the sticks.
The people of Chiruhura and Kazo.
Do you know that we have a chairperson of Sanga Town Council who was hurt and is still admitted?
Yes.
Do you know that?
Let's go to the lifeline of the show. The telephone calls on 752912912. Call in and let us know what you think about the state of the campaigns as of now on 752912912 and 780912912.
So,
the big seat. Hello. Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Derek from Rentoa.
Yes, Derek.
I just wanted to know whether Moses and Bruce are from Uganda.
You want to know whether Moses and Bruce are from Uganda?
Yes, I wanted to know whether they are Ugandans because they speak as if they are Kenyans
or Bruce comes from Kazo and Moses comes from Isinjiro.
Maybe we should check their IDs. They might be like terrorists from countries like Al-Shabaab there.
Thank you, sir. That's on point. The big set. Good morning. Speak a bit louder. What's your name and where are you calling from?
As usual, Kayongo Zubayo in Barara 2 miles Arsenal blood.
Yes, Kayongo Zubayo.
But you people, you have to know that people have anxiety to see Kyagulanyi. But we have a problem of NRM police and army. For them, they are not well trained to attack those people. But we have seen people from different countries, police and army from other countries, attacking those people with a lot of experience. But Ugandan police, for them, they are using a lot of forces where it doesn't necessary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Teacher Agaba Benson, you're saying, who told that RDC that Mr. Museveni has already won, and yet all signs are showing a win for Kyagulanyi? He's saying he wants to thank the team of NRM for telling only lies as if people are blind. But we have these people throughout our lives of losing power. You remain Kashari. Thank you, Teacher Benson, for being a part of the conversation on 752912912 and 780912910. Call in and let's get to hear from you on what you think about the state of the campaigns. After the calls, we are coming back to assess on whether keeping crowds around the polling station is permissible or vote and go home. On the big seat.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Kota Singonikas from Kankara Gungabugosh district.
Yes, please.
I want to know whether that man from Kazu, really, a person, how can say that a police protect 2,000 people from a certain venue? You need to use the tear gas. Eh? Really, how can you use the tear gas to protect the people who come to support his candidate? Two, I don't know what's wrong with the Uganda police. Now, police, according to me, the Uganda police is the only that gives out the support to the Kyagulanyi. I'm not supporting Kyagulanyi, but you protect him as a candidate. Not so. On the issue of Masaka, not think that the police protect him, given him a lot of security, if they like him. No, they are fearing the people of Masaka. The people of Masaka are tough. Another point, Vanyagi, and I give you. Uganda, we are no longer considering the national constitution. The electoral commission, one of the rules of the electoral commission is to conduct fair general elections. But if you see electoral Yamakama trying to say that Kyagulanyi doesn't want to follow the rules and regulations of the electoral commission, you look at that one, that man of Commonwealth Party is also doing the same thing. But all NRM powers, all NRM electoral commission is relying on Kyagulanyi as if Kyagulanyi is a disaster in this country. last on the point of Churuhura, I dislike the people who are practicing the concept of identity, of tribalism and sectarianism. We are under 21st century. That is the low level of understanding. I saw member of parliament holding a stick, and one of your representatives saying that it is a culture. What are you trying to mean? So.
Okay, I thank you so much. You've gotten your point very clearly. The big set.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name and where you calling from? Is this Madilu in Hima? Yes, Hima? I got you very clearly. Madilu, good morning. Habari asubuhi Madilu.
Mzuri sana. Nawasikiza, niko online, nawaona vizuri, nawasikiza.
Asante.
Wale kolinzi wetu wenye wako pale kwa hiyo mjadala ya kuongea waende kwa utaratibu one by one. People is listening to him, all people in the Uganda.
Yes.
Now when he's talking, this one talking, we cannot hear about that guy.
I am going to create sanity and order, Madilu.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Madilu Nihima. We love you here at Cruise FM, and thank you for the loyalty and the support.
Thank you.
All right, blessings, Madilu. Asante. All right, let me end with this call for now. The big set.
Good morning, Wesley Kabanyaji.
Good morning. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Gumisiriza from Moyangwe.
Yes, Gumisiriza.
I do want to tell you that the violence in the presidential elections
is
all about the bad habits from security officers. Because they are the ones that fueled the instability during the campaigns. And I do want to tell you that it is not the carrot that catches the rat, but its characters.
Okay.
So the opposition have suffered a lot. So let them, even the security officers suffer. Let them throw stones to them. Because they are the ones who have the bad habits. Allow me to thank the ethical because they have discussed this type of discussion very well.
Okay. Thank you. We put a question on our social media platforms on how can candidates campaign effectively while staying within the limits of the law after the statements by the IGP Abbas Byakagaba, who cautioned opposition political parties, especially NUP's Chagulanyi, against processions and campaign outside the campaign period. Ajuna Innocent is saying we no longer have independent institutions in Uganda. An example is that the Ugandan army, which has now turned into Museveni's army. Gilbert Mohanji, you're saying I blame the police most. They wasted a lot of Bobi Wine's time blocking him from campaigning from time to time. Crescent Saja, big contributor of the show, says most times some opposition leaders like Bobi Wine are blocked from campaigning. That forces them to campaign late. Nwajira Johan Remy, you're appreciating the show and you're saying, I think the best way is to go and not exceed the time of conducting the peaceful campaigns. Candidates should also be law-abiding. Festuno Bernard, you're saying by using approved venues, focusing on peaceful messages and policies and reaching voters through media and community visits. Let me go to Bright. Bright, you're building a gari, you have foot soldiers, and your message has been clear. Kakube, Kalinde, Kalonde, Kakume, whatever words that you've chosen. And you're saying these foot soldiers of a gari should stay at polling stations as if they're electoral officials and conduct business at the polling stations. The Electoral Commission is saying you have no duty at the polling station the moment you've cast your vote. Aren't you going to create a problem where you're going to confront the state in managing this, especially on the 15th? How are you going to deal with first the warnings from the IGP and the chairperson of the Electoral Commission saying voting must be done and done quietly?
Yes, I also agree with him.
Yes,
that voting must be done and done quietly. That I associate with that statement. But there is no law that prohibits me from staying near where I have casted my vote from. No, you see, that day is a day of, that day that day is a day of voting. Now it is a day of choosing my destiny. It is a day of liberation. It is a day of standing with the vulnerable. It is a day of fighting injustice. It is a day to recover, to reclaim our glory as Uganda. So in me, I look at it as the public holiday. In my personal opinion, I look at that day as a day which is going to be a public day, a public day. So I encourage people to come in large numbers. Come, cast your vote. Stay 20 meters away from where you have casted your vote from, and steady, be there with open eyes. See if there is anybody who wants to tamper with what you have, with your choice. Yes, you see, let me tell you, there is evidence on court record that President Museveni and NRM people have been rigging elections. That one is evidenced. It is in court. Rulings have been given that really there were irregularities, especially in favor of the opposition. Now I'm saying people come, vote, but protect your vote. What's wrong with protecting my vote? What's wrong with what crime do I commit when I protect what I have been able? So we are not saying we should go to polling stations to cause confusion, to cause chaos. But people, first of all, you know that some electoral commission officers sell ballot books to some candidates. You find some people are have predictive ballots. They are taking ballots in favor of one candidate. They are trying to ballot stuff. Now, if we are there, we shall check all those indisciplined cases. So I am saying, I associate with the statement of saying, cast but don't go away. Protect your vote, and in case people want to tamper with it, make sure you claim it. You claim your victory. Demand for your victory, because it is a day to associate with people who are vulnerable, who have not gone, who are unemployed, who have spent all their wealth on medical bills because of inadequate supplies of medicine and others.
Ronald,
Yes.
are you voting to go home?
First of all, as an aspiring and a candidate in this election, it is very I cannot say that I've wasted all my time and resources to campaign and actually look for votes, only to come and cast my vote and it is taken away. My victory is taken away because we are aware of candidates who are even not campaigning. They are waiting for the exact day to do their mischief. So I associate with Blight to say that stay there and protect your vote, but this shouldn't be generalized. You see, there are polling stations with over 1,000 voters. Now for you are saying that all of you 1,000 voters who come at the polling station, you should vote and stay there. Now this will create an environment where the confusion can come out, but I can say that let at least 100 or 50 people stay at the polling station to protect the victory of your candidate or of actually your choice, which I agree with. But the major point and what we are leaving out actually, Banyaji, is the issue of voter education. You are saying that the people should go away, but are you sure the people are actually well informed about that, or it's we who are actually talking about it on the radios? And this is why I'm saying that the Electoral Commission has not done its mandate to educate voters. Here I have this voter education handbook by the Electoral Commission, and ever since we started the electoral process, I haven't seen these massive sensitization campaigns by the Electoral Commission, yet it's their sole mandate to actually guide voters on the selection of candidates and even the mode of voting and whatever should be done after the voting process. So I think that there is also a lapse by the Electoral Commission to actually do that obligation, and I think they should focus on that. Also, lastly, the preparedness, how prepared are we for this election? You understand that we are almost 45 days, if not 41 days to the election date. But are you sure we are prepared? Today they are doing interviews for the BVK operators. So these machines require people to actually have expert knowledge, people to be trained well, the machines to be tested. But they are doing the interviews today, we are going into the festive season just 2 weeks from now, or if not 1 week. When are they going to train these people? So I am worried about how competent this election the election results will be. We must draw some actually lessons from the previous election, where in 2021 the BVK machines failed to operate and whatever. So I want to say I want to say that the electoral commission should be serious now on actually delivering its mandate.
Thank you. Mufachinani, why are you telling people to vote and go home? What is the matter? Do you want to rig the election?
Thank you for that very good question. In my hands, I have what we call a voter education handbook, revised edition. And chapter 8 talks about the polling process. We are saying people should vote and go away. Why? Because every candidate has agents. Those agents will do the rest of the work. Because, for example, if in a case of an incident, if you are, like Bright has said, masses should stay there, who will control those masses? Who will? Because we are saying, once they have not been staying there, they have not been there, we are saying you have done your patriotic duty of casting your vote. Your presidential candidate or your MP candidate nominated a candidate, a competent agent to oversee the rest of the process. So you have done your part. Please walk away home and be on your radio, be on your TV, be on your smartphone. You wait for the results. Yeah. And they have that right not to declare in case of anything. So the whole point is, this is not the first election we are conducting in Uganda. We have conducted elections, and when we do this, because we know anything can happen, because an election is full of emotions, is full of excitement.
Here it's a do or die.
It is a do or die. So we are saying, in a way of controlling those emotions, and that once you have cast your vote, go home and relax. It's going to be a public holiday. Be on your radio, be on your TV, play some small music as you wait for your results to be declared.
Edgar.
So there's the listeners out there. I think what I've realized from this show, the people who have the voters handbook are actually the ones who need to read it. Because it's very important. Firstly, and I want to tell you, I've observed some elections in other countries, but I will speak on one which at least I think is more democratic than ours, and that's Kenya. The people would also stay on the polling station. Almost the guidelines are almost the same. They are more or less really international. And the idea is simple. The framers of the constitution knew that there will be agents. They knew that you yourself will come and vote. They knew there will be police, but they still gave you. And also, in their thinking, made that at 20 meters. All this was considered. I want you to consider a scenario of energy where you're two agents on a polling station. There's police, which is of the state. There's maybe some military, which is of the state. No, that's what you think. But we have seen where we've even seen military vehicles on the polling stations. Your two agents have been captured, and then they join your vote. Where will you go and report in the court? Which witness will you have? When all your other people, you won't have a witness.
But then, if you're going to have a situation where a huge group of people is going to bombard a polling station, intimidate electoral officials, overwhelm security that is provided by the state to oversee that exercise, then there's going to be a problem. Previously, Dr. Besigye created the Power 10. It created a problem.
No, Mr. Raji.
Right? And the state moved to dismantle the Power 10. And you want Bobi Wine Zegadi to stand?
Mr. Raji, it is very funny when the same NRM which has been a sequel in of security, they claim they cannot be able to guard 1,000 people within one place. We have had national state events. Wait, we have had even just the SEC elections and the NEC and whatever that the NRM was conducting. How many people were on that station? Thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, I believe. But the security was also really a big problem. So I want to believe. No, listen. But no. Again, you see, Manaji, this is on a very bad assumption. These guys want us to assume that the people are going just instigate violence and all that. But the intention is very simple. The intention is so that you are able to witness the entire process. And no, there's no out of noise because you see, you didn't make noise. Wait. This issue of making noise and point, they didn't make noise, and neither did they make a point.
So it doesn't matter.
Thank you,
But
Edgar.
we won't allow it to intimidate Ugandans. Wait, Mr. Yaji, we won't allow them to intimidate Ugandans. Ugandans have got to understand these guys are scared. They have been used to this whole thing of Museveni is a goddess, Museveni is a god, in a state you can't do anything. Now when Bob Wine exposed some truth on actually how people have power, now they came back to treasonous. What is treasonous is you believe that you don't have the power and the power is in the military man. That is treasonous. It is stupid to even believe so. Let no any Ugandan believe like that.
Thank you. Bruce Wakunda conclude and we get out of studio.
Wanyaja, I pity people like Edgar and those who will believe him. We are going for a presidential election. This
But
is
the
not,
question
this is not a Sunday school
is
affair.
the NRM
But you man,
scared of the numbers?
No, we are not. I'm explaining.
Yes.
So we are not going for a Sunday school affair.
Yes.
Or this is not an ordination of a bishop. So this is a well orchestrated scheme I can see. Already you're saying police has issues in human resource. They cannot contain us. Second, you're already saying people should vote and remain on the polling station. It means you want to overwhelm polling of agents, officials, and cause havoc. But the choices are two. When the wind comes, you either bend and survive, or remain standing
and go and disappear
and break. The second, let me tell you, Edgar, you do not have any authority, you do not have the expertise, you don't have the credentials to lecture police officers about how they should. You are the advisory.
But the rule
Let
book,
me tell you,
the rule book is clear for all Ugandans to read.
That what?
We all Uganda, the 47 million Ugandans
let me
know
ask you,
how the police
for
must
example,
conduct
for
itself.
example.
So that knowledge is not only the
Let me-
monopoly
no.
of the police forces.
No, let me ask you. For example, you're saying people should remain on police stations, on polling stations. One of the roles of the police is to detect and prevent crime.
Yes.
So if you look suspicious on the polling station and I come and arrest you as a police officer,
Will it? How about if the same police officer was being campaigning for NRM candidates and promoting them, is the same police officer stopping members of the opposition?
but at that material time you'll be arrested if you look suspicious.
Why would the person who is being stopped act if they know the security personnel is biased?
What?
Do you know?
No, I am saying if it is Sunday, Brigadier General Sunday,
Yes.
that is going to enforce the law.
Yes.
And yet he has been very clear on
Yes.
his position
Yes.
in as far as who he supports.
Yes.
How do you expect that opposition element to treat a person like Brigadier General Sunday?
How do you expect the state to treat you when you're saying you should overwhelm polling stations?
No one has said that. I don't know why.
That's why I said
also want to
lines
make-
must be drawn. Yes.
Yes.
Council Bernard, I want to make some.
Our time is fast spent. I want to thank you, Moses.
Feeding people.
Yes, in just a statement.
And it was
Speak to the microphone.
It was common here. I want to say, those police, a few, I think there were two police vehicles that were ferrying people. They are ferrying women of the police officers who should also have candidates they support. We don't know whether they support NRM or what, but they were just.
Let's meet next Saturday on the big seat. Tonight it's happening. It's going down at the University Info Mbara Boy Experience. God bless. We are out of here. See you next Saturday. Good morning.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of this radio station or its management.
This radio is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission, UCC.